What did he do? Jump? Welcome to Women of Wisdom Let's Talk podcast this afternoon. I hope everybody is doing great today. We have a guest on today that is an amazing woman, and her name is Victory Ford. So, welcome, Victory Ford. How are you today? I'm mute. I'm mute, Victory. I think you're
There we
still
go.
muted out. You hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I am good. I am hurricane safe. My hair and edges are still intact, so I'm blessed.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And I really appreciated that you took the time to come on the show today. There was a hurricane in North Carolina, and our guest today, Victory Ford, is from North Carolina. So she's just doing a Zoom on the podcast today. So let me introduce her. She's Victory Ford. She's the owner and CEO and designer of Gift Share. So, Victory Ford, we want you to tell us about yourself today. First, give us a little bit background before we jump into the business aspect of the interview.
Okay. A little bit of background about me is
Yeah, just tell us something about you. Yes.
okay.
In regards to where you started at, how God directed your steps, and where you at that in between. So many times we do interviews and you don't get that in between. You just get the glory part of it. But I want you to share with the people the beginning where it started, just a little bit. Nothing, just a small piece
that
of the
that in
beginning.
between is a lot. That's a long time. But I could but if you have a specific question, I can answer that. But if you just want to know who I am, again, my name is Victory Ford. I'm a graphic and web designer, and I'm not just a graphic and web designer. I'm a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur because
Yes.
there's a difference from someone being a business owner and anointed to be an entrepreneur. Everybody's not called to do that. I'm actually graced and called to
Yes.
run several businesses. So that's a little bit about me. God, I've been homeless 4 times,
Hmm.
and now I went from being chronically homeless to now
Hmm.
living in a luxury apartment
Praise
in the
God.
middle of the city. And so, God, I'm a testimony of
Yes,
how
you
God
are.
can take you from not having a home, losing completely everything, to being where I'm at now. And I don't have a job that pays my luxury apartment. I have my business. I got in my apartment in my business that got me here. So it doesn't matter where you start. If you follow God, he'll lead you across the Jordan.
Yes, he will. So, in the beginning, you said you were homeless. So,
Mhm.
what carried you through that homelessness? Was it your faith, or was it just motivation, or did you just have it in your mind, I'm going to get to a better place? I want to know what carried you, what pushed you forward to your destiny, to the place where you at now.
It definitely was my faith. I was
Okay.
required to hear the voice of the Lord every single step of the way. Um, I would not have been able to survive that, losing everything. My mom losing custody of my child in that
Mm.
process, losing. I mean, I literally lost everything, including my mind. And so it really was hearing and holding on to the voice of the Lord to get me through those things. It was me, Jesus, and a laptop. That's all I
Yes.
had.
Yes. So some people out here might not understand when you say I'm just holding on to the voice of the Lord. Some people might not even grasp that. Could you just give us just a little meaning of what that means, holding on to the voice of the Lord? Just
So
just go ahead.
there a lot of people. that are just beginning to walk with God. They're like,
Yes.
how do you hear the Lord? How do you hear Jesus? I mean, does he speak audibly? How do you know that he's speaking? It is God. God speaks to our brain. Okay. We think it's super deep. It's not. It's that thing that you know to do in your heart. Usually the thing that pops up is like, I think I should go left.
Mm-hmm.
Do that. Completely do that.
Yes.
Because
yes.
the Bible says that he'll order your steps, right? But he can't order a step that's not taken. So sometimes you have to take the step blindly and let him lead the way. We're looking for a guy, Lord, before I, put on some clothes, am I gonna wear blue or yellow? Lord, blow a west wind into my life and let me know if I'm gonna wear blue or yellow. And God is like, just pick something and I'll finish the rest of the outfit, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to listen to that inner voice, and God will continue to develop that. But what happens is that we procrastinate and we stop and we say, we just waiting on the Lord to give us a word. No, God is waiting on you to make a move. If you make a move, he'll order the second step. And a lot of the times God has already given you a direction. He's giving you a piece of something, because he's not going to give you the whole picture. But the little piece that he did give you, take the step, and he'll add the ingredients to it as you're walking.
Yes, that is so true. So many of us waiting, like, I'm waiting on God. God done told you something already, and then you're still, I'm just waiting on God. God done gave you a little piece of the puzzle. Now it's up to you to walk by faith. So pretty much that's what you heard that word. You walk by faith, even though you were homeless. So into that homelessness, when you start walking and you start walking out of that homelessness, tell us, what was your next step? After you got out of being, I don't like to say this homelessness. I like to just say displaced for a little while. You know what I mean? Just displaced for a little while. But after you got out of that place in your life, what was your next encounter? What did you do when you got out of homelessness? How did you walk into that next chapter of your life?
Well, how did I walk into the next chapter? That's the thing. I'll be completely honest. I didn't even know I was in a new chapter. I didn't even. God can bless you and redress you, and you still have the mindset of the old season.
Yes.
So it took me a long time, and God sending me through other storms outside of homelessness to blow off the debris of the old season. Because you can have a home and still do the habits of homelessness.
Go ahead. Yes.
You can have 4 walls, a bed, a chair, but because you have all those old habits from the past, you still are operating in that. So it wasn't until last year that the Lord, he said, Victory, you're not in a new season, you're in a new chapter of your life. And I didn't even know it. He said, you got to take, when Jesus told Lazarus to come forth, after he told him to come forth, he said, take the grave clothes off. Because I can't have you be alive still wrapped up in your death clothes. And I was still wrapped up in my death mindset and my homeless mindset, still dressing the same way, talking the same way, moving the same way, and not understanding I was in a new season. I wasn't in the wintertime anymore of my life. So it took a process for me to take those things off. And I'm still walking that out.
Yeah, I think we all are. You know what I mean? I think we all are. So, when I read your biography, so you came out of homelessness, you walked into this, and then it said you self-taught. So what do you mean you have been self-taught? You picked up the books, you read the books, how to start businesses. I mean, self-taught. Give us a glimpse of that, self-taught.
I've always been that type of person where I can figure it out.
Okay.
I've never been that person where I go ask somebody, which is dangerous, which is really dangerous.
Wow.
But I've never asked for help. If I could figure out the resource of how to get it and how to learn, I would. And so I used to work for a ministry, and that's where I started with graphic design. I didn't even know I had the talent to do it. After my mom had passed in 2010, I remember my cousin saying, "You do logos and stuff. Do you use Photoshop?" And I was like, "Photoshop? What is that?" And she was like, "Oh my goodness, how are you creating people's logos?" And it was through Microsoft Word. And I was doing a doggone good job. Didn't know. And so I learned, she told me what Photoshop was. That's all she told me. She was like, "Look, you need to get the software, Photoshop, get Illustrator, get the whole thing." And I used to stay up for hours. I'm talking about the 4 o'clock in the morning, learning, studying, I have books teaching myself how to do HTML and CSS and all of this stuff. So it's years of studying.
Wow. But it took for you to have that heart to push through to study, because it's not easy to be self-taught, because you have to really stay focused. And for some people, it's hard to stay focused, literally. So that focus that you had, that was basically your determination. That's like, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to get it done. So, so was that hard to stay focused, of teaching yourself?
No, it was not hard. It was not hard because my fuel was hunger. Okay. Yes. My fuel was, I was hungry and I was homeless. So I better had learned. And that is how I ate. I literally, that is how I fed my child when I had custody of my child. That is how I fed myself, was through graphic design. So no, it was not hard, because when you're hungry and when you're you got to make it when you're in survival mode. That is like a gas to get you going. And let me just, pause for a second, kind of switch it to the other side, is that we get comfortable. Once we arrive, we end up getting comfortable and we don't have that drive anymore, because we're no longer hungry. And that's when you get this, I'm unfocused. Now, you talking to somebody that is medically ADHD, okay? So I'm always unfocused. I'm medically ADHD, but that unfocused on a regular comes from no drive. Something has to drive you in order to do it. God will give us the fire. God will give us the fire, but it's our responsibility to stay lit.
That's it. So, cause sometimes that fire can go to like a little flicker, and it's up to you to, I know exactly what you mean.
You gotta continue to immerse yourself in whatever that you're doing. I don't care if you're preaching, if you're teaching, if you are a mathematician, if you do whatever you do, you have to continue to put the coals in the wood or whatever that goes in the fire, because life will blow it out. Your flesh will blow it out, because you'll get distracted by something. So you can't blame God when your fire goes out, when he was the one who gave you the fire. He said it's your responsibility to feed it. Yes, that is so true. So even like during the times of the pandemic, I really think when the pandemic hit, it hit a lot of people really hard. And, when you had to stay at the home for all that period of time, I think it dimmer some of the people fire, through that. And I think that's like a lot of people overcame it. Church is back open, thank God. But a lot of other people didn't overcome it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when you say that's that focus piece I'm hitting on. You have to stay focused no matter what you're going through. So I looked and I see that in 2007, you started the business. So when you began to start the business, what did you do? You just went and got your resources? How did you do that? I mean, we're talking to people that thinking about starting a business. How do I start? Where do I start from? How did you start your business? So I technically did not start my business officially until 2017. Okay. But I had been designing officially since 2007.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But I had officially been designing since like 2009 and didn't know it. So like since 08 and 09, I had the gift. But from that times from 08, 09 to 2017, I had to learn how to monetize my gift. How did I do it? I hate to say like God, but it really was because in 2017, he told me to leave my good paying job with good insurance. All right, that I had been for a long time, that got me completely out of homelessness. And I was like, you want me to do what? You want me? But
like, so you had to sacrifice, right? Literally.
Right. This is how I got out of homelessness. Like, oh, we good. We passed that. But in 2017, he said, and I want you to give it all up. I want you to give it all up, and I'm going to teach you how to be an entrepreneur. And this is when he taught me how to provide value in exchange for value. So I had to give up. He told me to move to Florida. I moved to Florida, and I was like, I don't got no money, Jesus. He said, what do you have? I said, I got an iPhone and an iPad. He said, sell it.
Oh, wow. So where did you move from?
Here in Charlotte. So I was here in Charlotte, and God said,
oh, and then you moved to Florida. Okay. Yep. Okay. So what, from the beginning of then, and you started your business, and I see where you started helping other entrepreneurs, young businesses grow up and bloom up. So what gave you that heart to help the others? You know what I mean? What made you want to help others? Okay, I got my business. Now I'm finna start helping others. I'm reaching out to other businesses. Just that heart.
At that time, I will say that now I have the heart. Okay, now I have the heart. But then my fuel was hunger.
It was hunger. Okay.
So
wow.
You have to be honest. You got to know where your fuel is coming from. And so at that time, it was hunger. It was like, look, you need a flyer, you need a logo, I need to eat. All right. And and so that's really where it had came from. I wanted to say something else. But yeah, that's really where it had came from. As in, the second thing. The other fuel was I just didn't like the way people's logos and stuff look. That if I wanted to say so the reason why I named my business Gift Share Graphics is because my job is to dress your business and make it look like the gift that God gave you. And and there are business owners that just kind of slap a logo on there. They slap flyers on there. It looks a mess. I was very judgmental about it. So let me flip to kind of answer your question about the heart now. It went from hunger and also frustration of me seeing other people's businesses look a mess to now where I'm at now, and the heart of it is fully understanding that God gives us a gift. All of us have something in the earth that we do. It doesn't matter what it is. Some people it's makeup, some people it is writing, and I get to bring that thing to life. I get to actually make it look like the way that God had intended it to look like. I also have the heart of the customer, not heart of the customer, but I have the heart of the creator. You, Janetta, you have a podcast called Woman of Wisdom. I can actually have empathy and understand the passion behind the creator of Woman of Wisdom about helping other women and where you were at when you wanted to create that. So I get to co-partner with you when I do graphic and web design. On top of that, I'm no longer judgmental about what other people's businesses look like. If they want pie in the sky and they want to, some fire flaming out with a dove flying above the logo.
Yes.
That's their vision. And as graphic designers, I'll say this, as graphic designers, we judge other people's businesses and how it should look. You can't do that. It's their vision. I'm the hands.
Yes.
You have the vision. I got the tools. Let's make it come to life. It doesn't matter how you want it.
Yes. And I must say, as Victory said, she designed my website. And I was so pleased with it. So pleased with it. So she designed my website, and I want each and every one of you to check it out. At the end of the show, I'll give you the website address and everything else. But I was just amazed. Just amazed at the work that she did on my website and on my business cards as well, right, Vic? On my business
Yep.
cards as well. So she's really awesome at her job, and you can really tell she puts her heart into it. All right, Victory, tell us a little bit more about yourself. I want to hear a whole lot. No, I want to
Oh,
hear how much time. I don't want to keep it too long. How much time we got? About 10 minutes. Okay, okay, yeah, okay. So of all these business, I also read where you did celebrity events. Uh, you did material for both people, both business for business people, and also celebrity events. So, how did you like that aspects of doing business in regards to celebrities? Do you find it different as doing it for the young entrepreneur that's just coming up? Or is it a little bit different? I'm quite sure it is.
it is. It is a little bit different. I'm not gonna say I worked with like big, huge celebrities, but
Mm-hmm.
I did work with a person who was with Shirley Caesar. They had a big concert that they need to do. So it's like Shirley Caesar, Rance Allen at that time before he had passed. Um, I've also done what is her name? What is her name? I can't remember, but I've done a few
Mm-hmm.
celebrities, and usually you don't work directly with the celebrity at all.
Mm-hmm.
You are working with the person behind the scenes. So it's more,
Okay.
yeah, you don't work directly with them. Um, it is more strategic. I will say it's very clear. They're very clear on what they want because
Okay.
people who are at least my target market are people who are just starting, right? So they're
Right.
not clear on what they want.
Right.
they're trying to figure.
Right.
They're asking me that they're asking me what should it look like. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think it should look like? So I get a lot of that type of conversation. But when you start working with people who have been in business for a while or they are on a celebrity status, they
Yeah.
know exactly what they want because they understand their brand.
Okay. Oh wow. Yeah, because I remember when you were doing mine, I was like, okay, should I use this picture or should I use that picture?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know if I want to put that word right there or put that word right here. What you think? That don't look right. I'm just pulling your brain. What you think about this part? What you think about that part? So
Right.
I definitely understand when somebody is creating a business, a nonprofit, or
Yeah, they trying to
whatever it
figure it
may
out.
be. Because you really don't know. You really don't know. This is all so new to you. The only thing you know is God is birthing something through me, and I'm just walking in it by faith. And just the
Right.
way that it's so ironic as I sit here and interview you because the way I got to you was through Larry, who's the podcast developer. So it's just so ironic as I sit here.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
but yes, so you said you went from homelessness to now your luxury apartment. Now tell us
Mm-hmm.
about that luxury apartment. What God done did to you and brought you to a luxury apartment. How he showed you those things before. Tell us about that.
I mean,
Ooh,
it's
tell us.
always it's always been my dream to live in uptown Charlotte where, all of the high rises and the skyline and stuff like that. But it was a
Mm-hmm.
dream. I didn't think it was going to be possible because it's not cheap.
Okay.
I never thought that my business could afford that amount of rent. Um,
Okay.
I'll tell you this. This is the amazing part. Um, so I'm not originally from Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm actually
Okay.
originally from Ohio, but then I moved to Indianapolis. Okay, so I
Okay.
took a Greyhound bus after I had lost custody of my son and my second home, my second apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I had took a Greyhound bus from Indianapolis Indiana to Charlotte, North Carolina, because that's where God told me to be. And when I got here, I had my computer, because that's how I ate, through graphic design, and a book bag. That was it.
Wow.
And
now that's some faith right there. That's some faith. Yeah, okay.
It took me 24 hours to get here because there was a delay. Okay. So I got off of the Greyhound bus. I remember it like yesterday. And I walked about 2 miles to the homeless shelter, not even sure if I was gonna get in because I was from out of state. I had an Indianapolis ID card. So I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get in. I walked in the rain from that Greyhound bus station 2 miles there, and I was able to get in and get a cot that night. And I remember about a week later, I needed to wash some clothes. So I went to the laundromat, and I remember that was the first time I actually broke down crying. It was so random. It was so random. That was the time I was able to release. It was like, everything was so built up in me, and I just busted out crying at the laundromat. And I remember that laundromat to this day. And so fast forward, over a decade later, I move into my apartment, praise the Lord. And I start driving somewhere. This was probably maybe last year sometime. I started driving. I said, this place looks familiar. Like the area. Okay. I said, this place looks familiar. Why does this look familiar? And God brought it back to me that I live exactly right around the corner from the laundromat that I walked to, where I broke down crying.
Wow.
I not only live right next to that laundromat, I live exactly down the street from the Greyhound bus station that I had got off of, which is exactly 2 miles from where I started, which was the homeless shelter. So I say that to say that God strategically put me here in the center to show me my past, my present, and my future, to let me know that He will literally show you. I didn't even know this area was here. He will literally take you in His hand through the process and bring you to the blessed place. But you must be willing to go through the process, because if my luxury apartment was right around the corner from the homeless shelter and from the laundry mat.
We got 3 minutes, Victory. Oh, look, I can talk to you forever. I can talk to you forever. So He brought you to that best blessed place, and He showed you where you come from to where you at now. Correct? God is amazing. He is amazing. He always blow my mind. I can go on and on with Victory Ford, but unfortunately, we're going to have to end this show right now. I can talk to her 20 more minutes. So thank you, Victory. Thank you so much for your knowledge and everything that you have given us today. You have truly been a blessing. So thank you for coming on Women of Wisdom Let's Talk podcast today. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you. And if you want to look up, Women of Wisdom is Women of Wisdom nonprofit organization. Go on the website and see what we're all about. We help those that are displaced, those that are homeless. You can go to womenofwisdom.org and you will find out everything about the nonprofit organization. Thank you so much for watching Women of Wisdom. Let's talk. Have a blessed day.